Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with Golden Opportunities Coaching. Welcome to this updated audio. And we're going to talk today about signs you're ready to get into a new relationship. And as a dating coach, I see a lot of people who aren't ready, but they lie to themselves or they tell themselves they are just because it's socially more comfortable to have a partner than not. So these signs are things that I've seen literally hundreds of times before, and unfortunately also means I might not be a popular person after this audio, but I'm okay with that because I really care about people getting what they need from relationships or what they want from relationships rather than being interdependent in an unhealthy way or codependent at all. So here's the thing. The first way to know that you're ready for a new relationship is that you view the relationship in the proper context, and that is a bonus to a life you're already happy with. If you go into a new relationship with it being bonus lifestyle orientated and not completion orientated, you give it 5 times more likely the chance to succeed. So here's how that works. Many people live under the societal misnomer that they are broken if they don't have a partner. That is complete and utter BS. It doesn't come from reality. It is actually a sign of potential weakness of exploitation. Weakness of exploitation meaning that if you believe you have to have someone to be happy, then there are a bunch of people that are willing to take advantage of you in order to have someone themselves and exert control over you because you're in a weakened state. So it's better to say, look, I'm happy with my life, and I'd really like to share that with somebody. And it would be a bonus to have someone in my life to share my life with. It's not a necessity. I don't define my happiness by it, but it would definitely improve my quality of life if I had somebody. That's the right place to be, or the healthy place to be when meeting somebody new. Second, you have to be past your past relationship. And past doesn't mean that you don't miss them from time to time. But if you're thinking of them every day, every other day, multiple times a week, or if you're constantly comparing and contrasting anyone you're dating with them, or if you're still in contact with them trying to figure things out, run far, fast, and away from a new relationship. Because here's the truth. You're insulting the potential of what you may be able to have with another person by holding on to the past, or by expecting that person to not be certain things because your previous partner was, or to be certain things because your previous partner wasn't. And this applies to both men and women. I know in my own life that I have been in relationships where I was in the shadow of a former partner, and it's no fun. Because here's the hard part about that. 9 times out of 10, you never get out of that person's shadow. And if you're the one putting somebody new into the shadow of a previous partner, positively or negatively, you're actually doing yourself a disservice because you're spinning your wheels and wasting your time, and you're doing the other person a disservice because you're not allowing them to be themselves completely. The third thing is, are you ready to grow with a person? And are you ready to compromise with a person? Grow with them. Look, they're not always going to like the things you like. They're not going to have the opinions you have. They're not going to have your complete worldview, which means growth and expansion of ideas, concepts, and activities is necessary. Compromise also necessary. If you get into a relationship thinking that someone's there to serve you, that's not a relationship. That is a form of slavery, indentured servanthood, or some form of I'll scratch your back, you'll scratch mine, and we will barter and we will get through life together. These are not healthy situations. These are also not situations that will last in the long run. To grow with somebody means, hey, you like things I don't like. Let me learn about that. Hey, you don't want to go here for dinner. Let's talk about other options. So growth and compromise are a huge third part to being ready for a new relationship. If you're not ready to expand, then you're not ready to have a new partner. Fourth, you can admit your weaknesses. And this is a big one for people. If you're going in and you're saying, my ex did this and that, blah, 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 blah. She's a horrible person. He never listened. He doesn't care. then chances are you're not ready for somebody new, because you have to be able, or should be able, to admit, hey, my last relationship, here's where I messed up. Here's what I would do differently next time. And here's where he or she was not the right person for me. We weren't the right fit for each other. And this is a huge sticking point, because lower level vibrational people, in other words, people who live only through their emotions and don't do the reflection work, will often say, I've always been hurt. And I see it all the time. I do online dating profile assessments for some clients. And I see it all the time, especially with millennial females, but I've seen it in other profiles too. It's just most prominent in the millennial female profile. And it's such a foolish thing to do. So the opening headline, right, when you're on one of these sites, is there as your pitch line. It's like, here's why you should choose me. And most of the time, I'd say 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 times, it's like the opening line, something like, don't waste my time. Been hurt, prove me wrong that all men suck. Don't play me. I've seen that from guys. And you wonder. I saw one profile. I was working on a dating profile for somebody earlier this week, and the guy's profile was, and you wonder why I'm bitter, and like that was supposed to draw somebody in. I don't get it. It's not my style. It's not my thing. It's not my swag bag. But yeah, it doesn't really work. And so, if you can't admit, here's my blind spots. Here's where I'm needing to grow. Here's where I need someone to hold me accountable. And I choose you because I think you're a good person, or I choose you because whatever. So, here's the other thing too. The next one, if you're ready to trust that love could happen for you, if you're ready to trust and hope that greater than anything you've ever had is possible, then you're ready to enter the possibility of a new relationship. If you're still like, nah, love doesn't happen for me, I'm just going to go out and see, I'm going to rush through this, I'm going to try to get a new relationship quickly, I'm going to, I actually had one client that I only did one session with because I didn't think I was the right fit for her. Who said to me, and I laugh, and I'm sharing this here because it was just so ridiculous. She said to me, he should know whether he wants to marry me by the end of the third date. And I went, huh? No. There's no trust in that. There's no build in that. There's no hope that you can organically grow together in that. And so many people use relationships as a way to cover themselves. Now, I'm not saying love isn't wonderful. It is. But at the same time, it shouldn't be finding a partner should not be the center of your life. Your own personal growth, and then including another person in it, should be the center of your life. That way, if another person leaves, you're not devastated or in some way negatively impacted to the point where you can't continue going on. So the second to last one is let things flow between the two of you, and I find this mostly with women who are 30 to 45. There's this misnomer, and I've seen it with men too. Usually the men have some sort of anxiety challenge, but there's this misnomer that says, if he cares about me, he'll text me within the first X amount of minutes, X amount of hours after a date. He'll text me every day. He'll this, that. And then inevitably I'll have a conversation with a client, and I'll be like, okay, well, when did you tell him or her that this was your standard? And inevitably, about 6 out of 10 times I'll hear, well, I didn't, they should just know. Wrong. Try again. When you believe that another person should just know what's going on or how to please you or how to get through to you or whatever, you're out of the flow and you're into expectation. The flow is, hey, this is what I need, can you do it? And the flow is constant streaming conversation. And the flow is truly living with another person in your space and going, hey, how do you fit? Do you fit comfortably? Because sooner or later you may desire to want something more meaningful, whether that be a marriage, whether that be a hand-fasting ceremony, whether that be a commitment ceremony, or something facsimile thereof, you most likely, about 98% of people want something more permanent. And so the only way to get there is to trust that the flow of energy between two people is sufficient enough to bring about, positive resolution, and sufficient enough to bring about a new creation that's grown between the two of you. The last one, and this is the big one. The most common personality type that I see is the archetype of the overgiver. So the overgiver usually is a person who's been abused or neglected or somehow traumatized very early in life, most likely by parents, but often, if it's not by parents, it's by the first long-term partner. And something happens in that relationship where the potential client, in other words, the person I'm working with, says, I have to give to be loved. I have to buy him this. I have to take her there. I have to spend time with her kids. I have to spend time with his mother. I have to, whatever it is, the parameters of limitation that as they exist. And it's not that way. If you feel you have to alter yourself in a negative way or slow yourself down or change yourself to keep somebody, run far, fast, and away, because that relationship isn't going to work anyway. You have to be willing to not play the savior or the rescuer. You are not Superman. You are not Wonder Woman. You are not a superhero, and it's not your job to save somebody. And once you get to the place where you understand that saving someone actually insults them because it enables them to stay underperforming in their own lives, then and only then we begin to understand what a healthy relationship is, because then you're like, I'm not willing to do this for anybody for an extended period of time unless they're giving back to me. And then the type of person you will attract into your life changes. In any event, this is Scott Golden, Golden Opportunities Coaching. I encourage you to like, subscribe, comment, and certainly we'll be back tomorrow with another video. Keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.